Hello everyone, I'm Buford MC, and welcome back to more GregTech New Horizons. Since last time, I've been working on improving the base in a couple of ways, as you can probably already see, and I've been using the items that we made last time, and I've been making a lot more of them so that we can begin using them to improve the base. So, for today, I want to start by kind of showing you what I've done. You can already see what I've done on the outside of the base. So what I've done is I've expanded the little roadways now to now have the brownstone road. So we tested these out last time. We made them last time in the smeltery, and I made a whole bunch more of them. And I've expanded these roads all across here now. Now, we haven't got every road turned over to these yet. A couple of the side roads haven't been turned over yet, but the main ones that are most frequently traveled across now are now turned across. And as you can see, these are really fast. It's really fun to walk across these. Now, I will point out also that you do lose hunger faster when you're running along these. As long as you hold the healing axe, though, it doesn't really matter, though, so that's quite good. But yeah, this is really nice. I'm really happy with how this has turned out. We still have a couple more I have to turn over. So this road here, I think we need to change. I still need to do this one, and then I need to do this one. These are just less frequently traveled. In fact, I never come up here anymore. Except for maybe when I do the Choco Pile Igniter, but even then I don't even need to come up here to activate that. I just go down to the tunnel for that. So I'm not sure what I'll do up here, because these trees are kind of obsolete since I've got the stickweed, which I still need to implement. I still need to get a couple more seeds and implement that, but I haven't gotten around to that yet because I've been doing some other stuff. So let's go ahead on into the base, and you're going to notice I've added some of these glowstone strips along now for some lighting, and you'll see that we've lost a lot of torches out here. And in fact, what I've done is every single torch that we once had in the base is now gone. We have no more torches, and instead, for lighting, we've got a whole bunch of these glowstone strips. We've got some of the glowstone nooks. So this is from the Forge Micro Blocks, and we made these last time a little bit, and I've gone ahead and made a whole bunch more. We've got them all over now, so no more having to deal with those torches anymore. And now what we've got is just, we've got glowstone. So I think it looks a lot better. You don't have to deal with the particle effects either that the torches give off. You technically could turn the particles off if you were annoyed by them too much, but, you know, when you're near the torches, they give out these little, like, smoke particles. With the glowstone, you don't have to worry about that, so I think it's a lot better looking, and, yeah, I'm quite happy with how that turned out. So we've got that all across up here. I didn't do it under here because this is really meant to be more of a piping area down here, so we still have the torches down here, but we're not really supposed to come down here too much. So I've done it all up here as well, and yep, we've got our glowstone all across here. This room over here, same stuff over here. And these are just really nice how you can just place them wherever you want. I put a little trim of it across the top of this thing here. Looks kind of nice. We've expanded that over into here. We've got some stuff in here. All the way up into our little tank room here. So, it's really nice. I didn't do the top of the base again because this is torches, and we're going to eventually expand out into some more rooms out here at some point, so I didn't feel the need to put any more glowstone strips there. It is nighttime, so let's go back to sleep. So, that's not the only thing I've been doing. I have been working on something else. And that something else has to do with some of the ingots that we need. So, let's talk about where we are currently in the pack and where we're heading. So first, we'll go to the quest book. So currently where we are is that we are in the kind of the end stages now of the Steam Age. We've been to the Nether, we've got rubber, and we're getting close to the end now. As you can see, we've done 90 out of 105 quests. Before we go to the LV Age, I want it to be 105 out of 105. I want to get all the quests complete, and we're getting closer and closer to that. If you take a quick look at the view mode, you'll see we just have to get a couple of these things done here. So we still have a little bit of work to do, but we're getting closer and closer to the LV Age, which is the next big chapter, Tier 1. Technically, we're not even at Tier 1 yet. We're still at Tier 0.5, but we're getting close. So what I want to do before we get to the LV Age, though, is I want to stock up on resources, because I assume once we get to LV, our resource needs are going to increase dramatically. So my goal is I want to try and get at least the main ingots we have up to about 1,000. You'll see we're not doing too well in some stuff right now. Iron is not looking good at all. 168 copper. We've got a lot of tin. Decent amount of bronze. Our steel, you're going to notice we've lost a lot of our steel, and I'll show you why that is, because we're going to be using that steel today, and I've been preparing some stuff. But what we need to do today is we need to actually figure out how we're going to get more of these ingots, because my set goal I've got, before we get to the LVH, I want to make sure that at least out of these main ingots around here, we've got around 1,000 ingots, just so that we're set up. I know that sounds like a lot, but keep in mind, in this pack, you get all the ores. You get a lot of ores very quickly. So I want to make sure that we're set up by, I think, steel, tin, bronze, copper, and iron. I don't think I'll be able to get 1,000 raw iron. That sounds like a bit much. We will need that, I think, a little bit. The red alloy, we don't use that too much, so I'm not too worried about that. Gold, I may want to get a little bit more of. And we will want to stock up a bit more on rubber. The alumite, we don't need to worry too much about. Silver, we can't get much of that anyways right now. But these are the main ones I want to get, especially, I think, iron. We need a lot of iron. We might need more than 1,000 iron. In fact, we probably will, because we need it for the blast furnaces over there, too. Copper and tin we use to make bronze, but I want to get a lot of bronze. I want to get a lot of tin anyways. I want to get a lot of copper anyways. Steel we're casually making over there, so that is a set kind of ratio of how much of that we're getting. I think it's about 40 an hour. So, we're getting all of that, and what I did was I went on a mining trip, and that's exactly what I was focused on. I wanted to get more iron, more copper, more tin. I even went and got some gold, and this is the end result of that mining trip. So, this isn't even every single ore that I got. It's actually just the ores that we can smelt. So, in this pack, there's kind of two types of ores, I'd say. So, we have the ores that you have to actually process through machines. You have to kind of crush them down into dust and wash them in order to actually get their result, basically. You get the dust from that. And the other kind of ore that you get is the one that you can directly smelt. So, for example, the chalcopyrite you can get copper from. And I have all of the ores in here are ones that we can directly smelt, I think, into either copper, tin, gold, or iron. I think that's the 4 in here. So we've got magnetite, that's iron, copper, chalcopyrite's copper, pyrite's iron, gold is obviously gold. We've got a little bit of some tin in there. Cassiterite sand gives us tin. So we've got all of that here. Now, why have I not processed this yet? Well, first of all, it's a lot of stuff. I could put it in all the iron furnaces that we have down there. We have a ton of those. But this is a lot of stuff. I need a lot of creosote oil for that, and it's a lot of work. However, I also want to try something else. And the something else I want to try is something that's going to help us to get even more ingots out of the ores that we've already mined. And because of how much we have here, I want to get as much as I can. So, what we're going to do is we're going to begin doubling our ores. Now, we could have done that for a while now because we have the macerator, but this guy is slow. And if we put an ore in there, in fact, let's actually test it out. We'll do a chalcopyrite. I'll show you that again. But if we put it in there, it takes about 20 seconds, and what it will do is it will give us 2 crushed chalcopyrite, which we can then turn into some copper. We can smelt that directly. So, let's see, it does take a while, though, and that's the biggest problem with this. So, if we come back over here, you'll see we have all of these ores, and if I were to process all these through our single block macerator, it's going to take 20 seconds apiece. I have no idea how much time that would actually take, but I would assume it's probably going to take about 10 hours. Maybe more, I don't know. But, you know, it's about 3 a minute. So, you know, think about it this way, it'd be about, I don't know, almost 3 stacks an hour, so it probably would be 10 hours, yeah, maybe even longer. Yeah, it'd be a long time, so we need a way of actually processing things faster, because the single block's just not fast enough. So as you can see, we've got that there, and I have also been processing some other stuff, so here's where all the steel went, and I'll show you why that's the case in a moment. Because our solution to getting this dealt with and getting things processed faster comes from multi-blocks. So, there's a quest in the Steam Age that I haven't completed yet. It's just a checkbox quest here, but it's called the Multiblock Revolution. So, the Steam machines you have been using until now have served you well, but there will be a time when you need to process even more items. That's where the so-called multi-blocks come in. So, there's a variety of Steam multi-blocks available to you. Go have a look at the Mass Processing Quest tab. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We'll tick that off, complete that quest, and we'll head on over to mass processing, because that's exactly what we need. So if we take a look here, Steam-powered breakthrough. So we've got a bunch of stuff here now in terms of information. And we can just take that off for now. But in the Steam Age, we've got access to 6 separate multi-block structures right now that will help us. Some of them will make, pretty much now, I'd say. We can make some of them now. Some of them I don't think I want to make just yet. So we've got, let's take a look, actually. We've got the Steam Purifier, which is a washer. Now, we don't actually, I think, have a single block version of that in the Steam Age yet. I think we will in LV. So let's take a look at this one here. Yeah, that looks kind of cool right there, doesn't it? So that's something fun later, I think. I don't think we'll make that one yet, but some of these are quite big. We've got one here. This is a steam separator, which is apparently a centrifuge. That's another thing we don't have yet in the Steam Age. We have to get that in LV, but they are what that is. The next one we have here is the Steam Squasher. That's a compressor. Now, we do have a single block version of that in the Steam Age, and this is one I've considered actually making. We're not going to do this one today, though. But this one's a little bit smaller, it's a little bit more manageable, hence why I'm considering using that. The other one we have is for the steam presser. This is a forge hammer here, and that's what that one looks like. It's a interesting looking one, I suppose. And we do have a forge hammer, that one. That one could be useful because we make plates in it, although we're not going to be using the forge hammer for plates much longer because as soon as we get to LV, I think we're going to get a new machine called like a bending machine, which will allow us to make plates even more efficiently. The next one is the Steam Blender. That's a mixer. So we don't have a Steam version of that one in the single block department, but that's what that one looks like. That's quite a big one right there, and you can see it uses a lot of stuff in this. This is going to be quite involved. But the one we're going to be going for today is the Steam Grinder, which is the Macerating. And if we read this here, it says 25% faster than using single block steam machines of the same pressure. Only consumes steam at 62.5% of the liters per second normally required. Processes up to 8 items at once. Processing speed and steam consumption is doubled under high pressure. So, this is what we're going for today, and this is what I want to try and accomplish. I want to try and build this. It's the simplest of all the steam multi-blocks that we just looked at. We need 22 bronze-plated bricks. We need input bus steam. We need to make the actual item of this. The steam hatch and the output bus for steam. So there's a bit of work involved that we need to do. However, if you actually go take a peek at this again, you're going to notice that what we need is bronze. And you're going to notice in the chest here, but we have a little bit of bronze. In fact, I made some bronze ingots here. Let's put these over here for now. But you're going to notice I made a lot more steel. And you're probably wondering why I made all of that steel. Well, we're not actually making this one. I want to make this one, which is the high-pressure version of the multi-block macerator, which I'm assuming should be even faster. So I want to get as much speed as I can out of this, just so we can process things quickly, because, well, in this pack we get a lot of ores, and, well, you know, time is money, as they say. So I want to get as much as we can out of this, and that's what we're going to go for. So we need to make solid steel machine casings, which needs a lot of steel plates, hence why I've got so many. We also need some steel frame boxes. So let's get right into it and start making some stuff. I think I've got more than enough steel plates. In fact, I've also got a bit of iron in here as well. I've been cooking up a variety of the impure dust, and that's the end of it. There's a collection of impure dust and crushed ores that we had around that I've been trying to get a little bit of extra iron out because we're really, really low on iron. But now we've got a decent amount. Of course, once we get all of this set up, we'll have a lot more. But for today, I want to try and focus on macerating a lot of items and getting this thing set up. So we need to get the solid steel machine casing, which will require us to get some steel rods and probably need some more tools as well, because that's going to go through a lot of files. So let's go ahead and get that set up. Yeah, that only has 1%. Actually, I had a couple of them in here, didn't I? Where's my steel at? Alright, that works. And I think, what do we need to do this? We needed the steel frame box, which was a wrench. So we need 22 of these. Oh, that's not what I'm making. Let's take a look. Yeah, we need 22 of these, so we're going to need 22 of these frame boxes. So let's take a look at how many that would be then. Now it should help us to make at least a couple right there. Alright, there goes one wrench. 20 there. Right, there we go. 22. Perfect. And we should be able to just come in here. All the steel we have on us. And that should be enough to get that going. Hammer might break on us, but we've got more of those, I assume. Yep, there we go. Alright, there's the first step done. So we've got the 22 solid steel machine casings that we needed. Did use quite a few things right there. Let's put these away. I just noticed it is nighttime as well, so let's quickly go to sleep. Let me throw this in here for now. Take the iron as well. Let's go to sleep. So now we need to make the other stuff because we need a couple of special items in order to make this multi-block. So we got that done. Now we need to make the buses, the hatches. So this is going to be for where the items, I think the buses are for items when we have the input and output items. This is going to be for actually putting steam in to power this thing. Now I will point out I have no idea how much power exactly this is going to take, especially since we're using the high pressure one, but I'm hoping this is going to be quite fast. So I think we should be able to handle it. So we need to make these buses and this hatch here. And, ooh, we need to make something called tembaga. We need tin plates, bronze. Oh, wait, we don't have tembaga, though. How do we make that? Tembaga dust. Here we go. We need gold, and we need tembaga mixed dust. Oh, that's just copper and gold. So it's just a bit of copper and gold, it looks like. So how much is it for each? 1 copper, 2 gold. Alright, so it seems more gold than copper. If I've done my... How many do you get for the mix? We just get 1. Okay, we gotta actually work this out here a bit. Let's just turn a couple of these... Well, in fact, actually, you know, instead of doing this, I was going to macerate those ingots. Let me just quickly check my dust chest, the impure dust chest. We might be able to just wash some of them. Should have... Yep, there's some gold there. Let's see if we've got copper around. Because the only ones I actually just smelted down, I think, was the... Let's see if I can find copper in here. 9 copper. That's not a whole lot for what we need. But we only need 1 copper. We don't need much. Oh, it's more gold than copper. Alright, well, let's see how far that gets us in terms of tembaga. I have a cauldron here. There we go. Perfect. And, well, we need... You know what? Let's do that, and then I'll just, I'll macerate 3 gold. That should be enough to make a couple of ingots, actually, shouldn't it? Because it looked like when I make this, you actually get... Yeah, you get 10. So if I just put... Yeah, so we've got 9 here, so that should be 30 if I just get 3 gold ingots involved. So let's do that then. That sounds perfect. So I think we macerate that. Takes about 10 seconds. What else do we need to get together for this as well? So we need steam grinder. Oh, that needs tembaga as well, actually. Well, we do need some bronze-plated bricks to make this thing. So actually, let's go ahead and see if we can do that. Let's take a look at that. Do we have all that stuff? Oh, we have plenty of stuff in here. That's good. I think we just needed the 4 for now. Alright, we got that done. Let's check out the gold. There's the gold dust. Perfect. So I think we can just do that, and there we go. Tembaga dust. We'll just throw that into our machine furnace over here. We should start getting some of that over time. What else do we need to get? We do need the tembaga in order to get this. Oh, we are going to need some hoppers as well, it appears. Okay, we need hoppers. How many do we have? 1. We're going to need a couple of these, so... Let's make like 4 hoppers here, because I'm going to need a few for a few other things as well here. One of the ingredients is going to be to get the gear, I believe, which I'm going to need. We can actually use the alloy smelter for that. So we can use the gear mold, as I just did there. That helps to make it a little bit cheaper to make that gear. But I don't know if it's cheaper, actually, but it's just easy instead of having to make the plates. Alright, we also need some bronze and tin. Do we have any tin plates? We've got 10. 2... Okay, none of those. We need this. Ultra low bolted fluid tank. Okay, that... Alright, we don't have a large clay fluid pipe around. Oh, no, we do. We need a water bucket. Alright, so let me go and grab one of those. We can go to the kitchen, actually, for that, because we have a sink. Perfect. There we go. There's our water bucket. That'll make us the tank. And then we can go check on that Tumbaga and see what we need from there. So let's go ahead and make this. Looks like we had everything for that. Perfect. We've got a lot of machines running right now, but here's 14 Tumbaga ingots. Let's turn... I don't know how many plates we need. 2. Ooh, what happened here? Insufficient steam. Oh, we might be overdoing it here a bit. We might be running too many machines at once right now. I think we're overloading the pipes. That's the first time that's happened, I think. Interesting. Yeah, it seems to be kind of overloading it. It's not that we don't have the steam. I think it's just that the pipe size isn't big enough, so I might have to upgrade those to steel pipes at some point. How do I want to... It does take 28 seconds to do that. Alright, let's actually do this. That's the first one in the line, though, so it just might... What if I turn this one off for now and let the buffer fill up? That might help. I think that would be fine to run, because that's not using hardly as much. This one was using, like, over 2,000 steam, so that was quite a bit. Anyways, though, so while that's trying to fill its buffer back up, let's make some Tumbaga ingots here. I'll make not Tumbaga ingots, Tumbaga plates. I'm not sure how many we need, though. Seems like we only need 4, actually. We need the rods as well. But if we want to make any of the other steam multi-blocks at some point, we're going to need a little bit more Tumbaga anyway, so it's going to be good that we have an extra bit. Alright, so we've got that. There's some iron gears. Can I have you going again? Let's see how you do. Yeah, you use 2,400 liters of steam per second, and that bronze pipe only holds 2,400 liters of steam per second, so if anyone else needs some steam, it might not get enough into this guy. That might be the problem. So I may actually need to upgrade the pipes underneath the steel here. Soon, we actually have quite a few of those. Man, we've got a lot of steel. Look at all those plates we still have after even we made those, so that's quite good. Anyways, so next up we need to start making these items here. I think we can make the hatch already. Nope, we need bronze pipes. We have some of those. Alright, there we go. There's the steam hatch. Take you off the list. Now we need to get the buses, which will need hoppers. We need iron plates. Alright, let's do that then. Just put a 63 in there. I don't put 64 because it only takes it, every 3. So if you put 64, you'll always be left with at least 1 extra. Oh, you did finish. That's good. Alright, we can turn you back on, that means. Alright. Have that. Oh, did I get the rest of those gears? Yeah, I did. I didn't get that, though. Alright, we need to make some of these hoppers still. Got that one made. And we had 1 hopper. Okay, we can go ahead and make these now, I think. So this is the input bus steam. This is the output bus. They're separate items. We need to be careful about that. Yep. Input, output. Perfect. And the last thing to make it looks like is just to get the actual grinder. So we need 2 pistons. We've got 2 pistons. We got 2 sticky pistons there. What else do we need? We need diamonds in the Tumbaga frame box. So I need 8 rods. Yeah, let's throw you in there. I'll throw all of that in there for now. And we need to grab our file, wherever that could be. There we go. Put the wrench there, and we get the frame box. Put the spare one in here for now. And now, we need to get the diamond still. Let's go and head over to our diamond chest. There we go. 2 diamonds. Perfect. And let's go head back over to crafting area so we can go ahead and make this thing. Alright, steam grinder, and that should be it. Yes, we got it. Steamy mincer. We were going to make a couple more hoppers as well, weren't we? There's the iron plate. I need to make a few more hoppers, I think. I got 3 more. Well, let's make 3 more, why not? And let's put the Tembaga away in here. Alright, there we go. Alright, so let's go ahead then and try to get this thing set up. It's not very complicated. It's a 3x3. Assuming it's gonna be... Is it hollow in the middle? Let's take a look, actually. So we'll get the quest knocked out. We can get a loot bag. We'll wait on that for now. Let's take a look. Yep, it is hollow in the middle. So these hatches here, I believe, can go anywhere we want. So input bus, any casing. Yeah, any casing, any casing. So these can go anywhere we want them to go. So where we're going to put this thing, I think, is we're going to put it right here. The only thing we have to do is actually put the grinder there. And then we have, well, we can basically do whatever we want. So I think we're going to put the steam hatch right in the bottom center. Steam hatch. Face that way. And how would we want to do this? We could put the input bus. Well, we can put the input bus there. So that's where we're going to put items in. Output bus is where it's going to come out from. Doesn't really matter. Let's put it there, actually. Because we're going to need a way of actually outputting directly. And as you can see, it just detected that. That's why it just turned color, I think. I don't know why this one didn't. Alright, and the rest of this is just going to be the solid steel machine casing then. Oh, wait, I didn't need to do that, did I? I just realized my mistake there. Hold on a minute. Why did I put that in the floor? And it just fell down too. Alright, well, we can use that as a moment to extend the pipe if I have any. Right, we can't do that either. Let's go to sleep quickly as well since it is nighttime again, and then we'll set this thing up. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's go ahead and do this the correct way now. So the steam hatch goes there. Face that down. The output bus, we're also going to have that face down. Don't know if that matters actually, because I don't... Well, I actually don't even know if this thing automatically exports either. Keep it facing that way for now, just to test it, just in case that it does, and then we'll see what happens. Alright, now we just put steel and everything else, I think. Keep in mind it will be hollow in the middle. That should form it. There we go. Tier high pressure, current parallel 8. And I think we pushed the power switch. Obviously it doesn't have any steam yet. So now we need to get this guy ready to go with some steam. So let's grab our pipes and connect things up. I did go with the steel pipes for this, so you probably already saw it actually, but we've got a secondary connection that goes this direction from here. So this was the single blocks with the bronze. I think I need to go steel on that now. But we've got a steel one here just in case this one really does take a lot of power, which I assume it will. So it looks like our steam... Oh no, that's the output hatch. Ooh, that's not quite good, is it? I need to move that back by 1. Alright, let's break these and then set this thing back up the correct way. Put that one there. There we go, we just drag this along like so. These hold double, by the way, the amount of the bronze pipes. That one was 2,400, this one's 4,800, so this is quite nice. And then we can go ahead up like that. Well, that's kind of weird looking, isn't it? Oh, I want to connect that. We'll just get the directional arrows on here. Whoops. You don't have to do it for every pipe, it's just a habit I have. Alright, there we go. So now, let's take a... Well, how do we know if that thing actually does have any steam in it? Can I see it from here? Yeah, I can see it. There we go. We got full amount of steam. Perfect. Alright. Actually had just enough pipes almost as well. Alright, so let's give this thing a whirl then, I suppose. Actually, let's have you face that way, and then we'll put a hopper in, because we can't really do anything else right now. Yeah, hopper there. Let me turn you off for just a moment, and then grab our dolly. Put you on top of the hopper. We should start exporting ores. Should be ready to do 8 at a time. Let's see what happens. There we go. So, it's processing. We're going to get 16 in just 16 seconds. So, we're getting 8 ores processed in shorter amount of time with this guy than we were with one of this. That's pretty good. So, it comes out here 16, and I need a chest, actually, to test this. Probably a bigger chest as well. Well, for now, I'll put a normal chest. I'll upgrade this to gold in a bit, but does it automatically come in? Probably not. Doesn't look like it. So, that's alright, because what we can do is... what I can probably try to do here... maybe it would have been better if I came in from the back there. I just had a better idea, actually. Here's my other chest at. Well, we'll probably go with a gold chest, but we can actually probably put 2 gold chests here. Alright, what we're going to do, let's turn you off for a minute, because look at that. Just a couple of seconds, close, probably about a minute, and we've already got a stack of crushed copper ore. Now, this one is a bit different from the other ones. If it's named like gold, directly copper, or tin, or iron, you have to actually process it through a forge hammer before you can do it, because you'll just get the nuggets. You will get a couple extra nuggets, but it's a bit painful to do it that way. So we're going to want to forge hammer the direct ones. But if it's anything else like the chalcopyrite, the magnetite, banded iron, yellow limonite, you can just smelt the crushed ore directly at that point. And we'll cover that coming up soon, because we're not going to actually use those iron furnaces for the smelting. We'll go on to a new multi-block for that as well, which we'll cover. In fact, actually, let's take a look at that quickly as well. I think that one is in multi-block goals. This one right here, I want to make this next time, the steam oven. So we're going to work on that at some point so we can start really getting our ore processing going. But what we need to do is, let's take you out, put you in there, and I actually want to move this to the back. And there it goes. What is this? Solid steel machine casing. Put you there. And then come back to the bottom. Do we have any... we do have a hopper. Do we have any pipes? That's a clay fluid pipe. Ooh, we don't have any tin item pipes. Do I have any tin pipes? I don't have any tin plates at all. Just need one large pipe. That's all I need right now. You can probably throw that in there for the moment, too. Alright, I just want one large... well, maybe we might need 2. Ah, forget it. Let's just go with the small ones for now, and I'll fix it later. It should work enough to at least show you. Let's put that there. Alright, so let's head back down. Don't want to forget you, and... should have our... yeah, this is where the output goes. So output bus goes there. And all we need to do, I think, is just... nope, not that. Oh, we did need just one pipe. Okay. Because we're going to put the hopper directly underneath. That'll take it out. And then I could put it into the pipe. So we only need one pipe. So I will make the large pipe then. Alright, we need to make that. Don't remember how you actually make that one. No, it's the screwdriver. Oh, no, it's the wrench. My bad. Oh, man, I'm all over the place here. Alright, now, which configuration do we actually need? That one. Perfect. Alright, well, figured out finally how to make a pipe. Just a single pipe, but looks like that's all we need. Alright, now we can go ahead and set this thing up. So if we put the hopper directly underneath it, in fact, let's put the pipe first. Connect it to this chest here. Probably like that, and then put you like that. That should work. That should automatically export everything we get from this into the chest. So let's turn this thing on. We'll work on it. How much does this use? Oh, only 800 liters a second. Okay, that's not much at all. Yeah, this is a really, really nice machine, I think. Look at how fast this is, so let's see if this works. Should come in. There it is. Just come into this chest because it's a double chest, but I think what I'll do is I'll have a gold chest here. I can put another pipe going further along with another gold chest here because we are going to get a lot out of this. And we don't have to just use these ores either. We can use all the other ores we have because over here we have a whole nother ore chest. Right here with a whole bunch of other stuff which we can obviously double as well. So now, yeah. We've got our all doubling system all set up now, and I'm real happy with how this looks. So the next step in this is going to be to actually smelt down the ones that we want to get ingots out of. But this is going to result in a lot of stuff, I think. We're going to get a lot of ores out of this. This is going to be really, really good, I think. And yeah, I'm quite happy with how this has turned out. So I think that's where we're going to leave this one after we actually open that loot bag I just remembered. Because we did get this reward. I don't need that. I don't need that. Let's take the loot bag, and let's see what we get. We'll end it off on a loot bag here. Ooh, actually, that's not bad. Red alloy, bronze, iron. Okay, that was actually a really good one, actually. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that one, then. So yeah, that's where we're going to leave this one. We got our multi-block Macerate up and running. I'm really happy with this. This is going to be really good, I think. This is going to help us a lot. I mean, look how much we've already gone through. Some of it's in the hopper, but yeah, this is quite good. I'm quite happy with how this has turned out, and we're going to be able to get a lot of ingots really, really soon. So yeah, that's where we're going to leave this one. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.